there are so many reasons why I got into teaching.
One of the best things is the light bulb moment.
When you see a pupil suddenly understand something, that's really, really special.
Every child is so full of potential, and the thing that makes me proudest to be a teacher is seeing them realise what they are capable of.
I don't think any other job can give you the same satisfaction.
That's why I chose to teach.
You could get £26,000 tax-free to train. Search, apply to teach. Selected subjects only, subject to eligibility.
Ladies and gentlemen, podcasting since 2005. You were listening to Gamer Tag Radio with your hosts Godfrey, Pete Rock, Paris, Poster. Come on. Yeah.
Welcome to Gamer Tag Radio, episode 499. This is your host, Danny, a.k.a. Godfrey, and we have our weekly co-host. Let's start off with Paris. Paris, what's up?
Hey, I'm recording with a new mic. I hope my voice sounds better. And unlike Pete, if it doesn't, I have my backup plan.
All right, that's good. That's good. So I know you're excited because been a lot of Destiny news. I know you've fainted a couple of times, so we're going to talk about that later on.
Yeah,
right?
We'll talk about it later.
All right, cool. And also we have Pete Rock, also part of the Destiny Tag Radio.
Yes, the Dirt Team, Destiny Radio.
no,
what up?
Like the email we'll talk about later, the Destiny Peas. That's us.
The Destiny Peas.
What up?
Oh, yeah.
What up?
Hilarious. What's up, Pete?
I'm doing all right. Surprising. I'm just surprised Paris is up this early, his old ass.
Yeah. I know.
I get up at 6 a.m. every day, no matter what I do the night before, no matter how drunk I get or how long I play video games, I get up at 6 a.m.
I seen that in person because when we were at E3, we slept super, super late. And I'm there like, moving around and I see Paris listening to podcasts like at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, hey, what the hell is wrong with this guy? Go to sleep. Crazy, man. All right. Also, we have Patrick. Patrick, what's up, man?
What's up, guys? I feeling good. Good day.
Yeah.
Good time for podcasts. Good early morning buzz from coffee. A lot of stuff to talk about. $4.99. I mean, God, we've gone so far in such a long period of time, and I don't know. It's gonna be a good week, I think. A good episode. A lot of big stuff to talk about.
It's funny. I was talking with my girl the other night. I'm like, hey, do you know when we met? I was like maybe around the 40s, episode 40s, around there. And now we're $4.99, kind of crazy. And I think, Pete, you remember which episode that you joined with the first time, GTR?
As a member or as a guest?
You could say both.
Because I think from the guest perspective, I think it was episode 92 or episode 95. It was in the 90s.
Oh, okay.
It was the high 90s, something like that. So.
And Patrick, you were probably when? Do you have an idea?
I feel like it was early 100s, maybe like 105, 110, something around there. I tried looking this up just for like nostalgia's sake, and it was kind of tough to track down the first one.
Paris came in a couple of years ago, so yeah.
Yeah, but Danny, if you take it by when we first met, like when we first got into the whole podcasting thing, my oldest daughter was just in preschool. My other two kids hadn't even been born yet. I hadn't even moved,
my God.
I hadn't even moved into the house that I've been in for 10 years now, and like my oldest daughter now is about to go to high school. That's how long we've been doing this.
Damn, we're old dinosaurs, man.
Yeah.
That's like,
we're pioneers.
It is, and I remember mentioning that to Paris at an event. I think it was a time fault. I'm like, man, Paris, look, man, the future, live streamers and YouTubers, and we're still like talk radio AM.
I know. Hey, wacky morning too. Wow, waka waka. That's been us.
Waka
man.
waka. We need a soundboard. Damn.
Jesus, that's hilarious.
Crazier in the morning.
Yep. All right, head over to gamertagradio.com or play.it to listen to our past episodes and make sure to share it with your friends or subscribe to the podcast. You could go to iTunes, Spotify, Pete's favorite. Also, other places, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, and all that good stuff. We're everywhere. Email us, fanmail@gamertagradio.com or give us a call, 786-273 7GTR. That's 786-273-7GTR. Very quick. Next week, we have a very special episode. It's our 500 episode, and we're going to have a special guest. And I can't wait. We're going to surprise everyone. And just tune in. Make sure to check out the website or make sure to subscribe to GTR to get the scoop about our 500th episode coming out next week. And I believe Paris and P have been working on some stuff behind the scenes too. You want to tease it very quick?
Well, yeah, the episode after that, 501, it will be Destiny Talk Radio, and we got a very special guest.
Okay. And a bunch of people just fainted. Wake up, guys. Wake up. Wake up. It's okay. All right. So, wow. I know there's been rumors going on behind the scenes about the new Nintendo console, codename, quote unquote, NX. There is a patent that Nintendo filed a couple weeks ago for the new console, and it will not include optical disc. I think if this is true, I think this is like the right move because it will be cheaper to sell the console. They will have the right price, and also forget about CDs and disc and all that stuff. Now we're gonna be downloading games digitally. Your thoughts, guys? If this is true.
I think it most likely is true because you can guarantee that Microsoft and Sony is going to follow down the same path for their next consoles. Hell, Microsoft really wanted to do it this console generation with the optical disc, and it wouldn't surprise me if we see towards the end the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, whatever new hardware they come out with, they get rid of the optical disc because it is the future. I mean, if you even look at it right now, you rip the game from the disc and you're installing it on the hard drive. That's where you play it from. So technically, we're already playing digital games right now. So when we get to the end of this generation and when we get to, when the new Nintendo comes out, why put in a Blu-ray disc? It's just going to cost extra to do that. So you might as well go digital. And if you're not on board with that, tough luck, because that's just where technology's headed.
But see, now that's good that, Nintendo, I hope they make this move because they will be the first to make this move. And look, if you think about it, it's cheaper. They don't have to be making copies to those, CDs and all that, or Blu-ray, whatever. And it's easier for just people to download the content from home instead of going to the store. And I think this is the right move, and it is the future, so I think that Sony and Microsoft, they were planning to do that, but at the same time, they were afraid to make this move because of the retailers, that they're partners. They're going to be making them mad for having everything digitally, but eventually it's going to happen.
But here's how
look at iTunes. Look at all these. Go for it.
No, I'm sorry, but here's how you get around that with the GameStops and Best Buys and all that. You allow them to sell a digital code in store. So you're not cutting out the brick and mortar, but obviously you're also giving your customers the option to just go directly to your digital download store and grab the game. So the option will still be there for brick and mortar because, think about it. Amazon does it right now. You can go to Amazon right now and just get the digital copy of the game. You don't have to get the physical copy of a game if you so choose. So it's like you said, it's the right move for Nintendo. I think putting an optical disc is just a waste of time.
But also, you got to think about the other things that's going to affect the stores, especially GameStop, is the used games. Mm-hmm. There's no used games for the new consoles. Then how they're going to make their money instead of just not only selling the cards, they need to make more money.
I'll go back to it again. Microsoft may have screwed up the messaging 2 years ago, but if you look at that plan that they had, that was a part of it. They were getting rid of used games, and they just didn't, like we said, the messaging just didn't get out there properly. So they had to, backtrack on everything that they were doing, but it eventually is going to happen. This is the last console generation that you're going to have used games. It's going digital. It just makes sense.
Yeah. And it's perfect for everyone, for like the developers, the publishers, everybody will make money.
Well, people have to understand that the used game market was a unknown byproduct of physical games. Nobody really knew that was going to become an actual marketplace where people would just focus on just, used games. And then the other people that are going to suffer are GameFly, things like that. I don't how do you pull back a digital download, unless you do it some kind of timed, via a client. And I think that's, GameFlies and, those services are going to go away as a result as well. I don't know.
Well, look at Steam. Look at what Steam's doing right now. I mean, and again, if you're a PC gamer, you're already used to digital downloads because that's just what it is. If you pick up a physical copy of the game, it's still tied to a digital account, so there's no difference already. But the fact that they're now able to do the refunds, for digital games, and you can do trials, and obviously you can have Steam sales and things of that nature. So there's still a way to let people try out a game without having to 100% commit to it when you buy it day one.
But Nintendo and Sony and Microsoft, like if you pre-order a game or you buy it, there's no way for you to get your money back. That's the only scary part.
Well, that has to change. They got to change it. There's no way they can go into saying, hey, digital only and keep it the way it currently is. There's just no way. Hey, look, same with Sony and Microsoft. They can't do that either. They have to allow their customers to be able to try out a game or get a refund if they do a pre-order or something. Because if you lock me in to a game and there's no way to backtrack out of it, I'm not going to do it. That's why I don't pre-order digital games now. I wait because if I can't get a refund, if another Batman scenario, like I got burned on Batman on the PC, right? That's my own dumb fault. But on a console side, the customer base isn't used to the way Steam and PC games does it right now. So if Nintendo tries that, it'll backfire. They'll have to change it.
You see that okay, so I see that point of view, but also I see another different view that some people do take advantage of that. So let's say Android, when you have a Android phone and you download an app that you purchase from the phone, I believe they give you how many minutes, P? I think 15 or so or more.
And
if
15
you don't
to 30
like
minutes.
15, 30 minutes. If you don't like it, you could return and get your money back. Now, I could see people taking advantage of this by downloading a couple games, don't like it, and return it back. And the ones that I see that's going to affect more is like especially the independent developers that are trying to sell their games and stuff,
I think the easiest way around that, though, is just maybe to mimic Steam's method, where instead of maybe doing the 2-hour limit, just make it an hour limit. So you download the full game, you play the entire first hour of the game, and I think by then you can pretty much form an opinion of whether or not you want to keep playing this.
I think that's too long, though.
You don't think really? Like I only think that's a certain number of small indie games that get affected because the majority of games are much longer than an hour.
Well, the true solution to that is make a better game.
Yeah, I mean,
there's way too many, copycats and little imitations and one-offs that maybe don't have viable gameplay that'll last half an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, to hit that limit. So make a better game.
Well,
yeah, go for it.
I'm sorry, Paulson. I didn't mean to cut you off, but just think of it this way: EA Access is technically doing it right now. That's what EA Access is. They're letting you get a slice of the game, and then they cut you off at a certain time limit. And if you want to continue it, you can purchase the full thing and keep going.
That's true. They should definitely add the older 360 games part of EA Access, so you can have more options, more games there. Part of their catalog.
I don't know.
I forgot.
To revert this back to NX real quick, I want to make a point. I think I'd have to know what third-party support is going to be like for the NX, because right now, in my mind, it's just a first-party machine. So I have no qualms at all about digitally downloading only first-party Nintendo games, because if it's a good system with a good controller and, has, at least good recreations of older games or new IPs, then I'm all on board. Because I agree with Paris. I mean, we're not going to be buying disc in the future, and I'm already pretty much done with used games because I can just tell when a game's coming out. Do I want to play it? I'll get it. If I don't, or I'm not sure, I can wait for a sale of some kind. And really, all Nintendo has to do is just follow the Steam model to a letter. Sell their games full price on there, and then maybe give some discounts for some of the smaller titles or older ones, and have sales every once in a while. I think it could bring in a lot of people, because I think the NX sounds like the perfect second console for a lot of people. Because, if I didn't already own an Xbox and a PS4 and I heard about the NX, I'd be like, oh man, maybe I should wait and hold off on getting a second console until I see what Nintendo's doing, especially if it's stuff like this, that is trying to, change things up a bit. And, I know Nintendo makes good games. I think I'm going to pass on the Wii U, as I said in the past, but I want to play new, exciting Nintendo games. I want to see what the NX has to offer. But right now, this is a plus in my book, which is weird because this was such a negative to Xbox One. So I'm sure there's people are calling hypocrisy on this, but I guess it's just I trust Nintendo's first-party titles more because it took Microsoft literally until Gamescom to be like, oh, okay, you guys do have first-party games. Here they are. And now I'm excited. Now it's Nintendo's turn.
This is Gamer Tag Radio. Voicemail 786-2737-GTR.
If you're in the market to buy or upgrade your current PC, stop by Adorama.com/trade-up and check out their offerings. Adorama is having their biggest summer sales event called the Dell Computer Windows 10 Trade-Up Extravaganza. You can save $100 right now when you upgrade your old laptop or desktop to a brand new Dell computer with Windows 10 powered by Intel. The Windows 10 Trade-Up event is for a limited time only and some restrictions may apply. You can also save up to another $100 off with exclusive bundles and Microsoft Office deals. So before you throw out that old desktop and laptop, head on over to Adorama.com/trade-up and upgrade to a new Dell with Windows 10. You can also stop by their store located at 42 West 18th Street in New York City between 5th and 6th Avenues. Or stop online at Adorama.com. That's ADORAMA.com/trade-up. Adorama, much more than a camera store.
Voicemail 786-2737-GTR.
Speaking of Nintendo, Pokken, I know you're a huge Pokemon fan. They announced a new Pokemon fighting game. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so Pokken Tournament, which is essentially the Japanese arcade-only experience at the time, finally got a new trailer showing off some new characters. You got Gengar, Charizard, Pikachu, all those good people. More importantly, they announced it's coming to the Wii U in spring 2016, which is awesome because I think the Wii U needs as many cool first-party games as it can get because it's a unique system. A couple of cool games on there. They need to keep building their library. This is a great thing because there's really nothing else like there for this. I'm obviously a Pokemon fan. I love the traditional game, love Stadium, and love Snap. So, as a fighting game fan, this is right up my alley. It looks kind of similar to some of those like Naruto or like Bleach or One Piece 1v1 3D fighting games. Kind of hard to get a grasp of what the combat's like. But if nothing else, it looks flashy and fun. I can't speak if it's going to be competitive, tourney worthy. But, they announced that they'll have Dave & Buster's across the country. We'll be trying these arcade tournaments, these systems out. So I'm going to try maybe to go to one of these if there's one in Atlanta around here. But I'm excited for this. I got friends who all got Wii U's. I told them about this the other day. They all got hyped for it. They're going to get it. So I think it'll be a great, fun game for Pokemon fans. I really would like if there's a real online experience because I think, Nintendo has shown with a couple of games like Splatoon and like Smash Bros. 4, they can make a pretty decent online experience. And I think this is one of those games that would definitely benefit from that. But yeah, more importantly, I want to know what the roster is. I want a big roster. I want all kinds. I saw they had some assist in there. You can summon some of the baby Pokemon here and there. Some of the characters have different costumes. You can do the mega versions of them. So looks pretty exciting. I can't wait, honestly. Again, not going to sell me in a Wii U, but still a game I really much want to play.
Do you think they could add this part of Evil next year or not really?
I don't. I'd see. My thing is, I don't want to put, because we had that question before about the Naruto fighting game and it's competitive for it's viable for competitiveness. I don't know about this because the nature of these games is they rest so precariously on that scope of, when does gimmicky become too much? And, when does a cool mechanic get abused? Will there be balance, update patches? All these questions I have. I'd like it to be, but sure, I think Pokemon deserves a good fighting game. It's never really had one other than maybe like, fan-made games. Yeah. I would hope so. At least I'd hope it's at EVO with a showcase. If I was Nintendo, I would at least show it off to as many people as possible, get it into people's hands. I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't think twice about buying this until they played it and were like, oh, man, this is actually kind of fun. So I haven't played it yet, but I'd love to get my hands on it. Looks exciting.
Speaking of Nintendo, I know that a couple of days ago, Ubisoft released a Zombi that this game was released for the Wii U, Zombie U.
I saw you were playing that, Danny. How is that?
Man, I have to say this. I think this is the first game that I have to say that the Wii U version is better than the next gen version. Yes, because it's a lot of things. It's first of all, it's a very crappy port.
Oh, ouch!
They removed one of my favorite features. I don't know if you played it on the Wii U or not, Boston, but when you're playing Zombie U and you're running around, you see different people that like they're zombies, like their character dies, and you see them.
Yes,
their characters like online and stuff. They removed that feature.
What?
For the next gen consoles? Don't know why they completely removed that. Another thing is when I noticed when they load. Sometimes the game is choppy, little slow down here and there. Another thing that I like about the Wii U version is that, okay, I'm there running around and I could easily go to my gamepad and switch the weapons through there. But now with the next gen version, I have to click like the back button or whatever, and then you see the menu, and then I select which ones that I want. Like, let's say I want to heal myself, but I also could control it through the D-pad. But it's just a longer process compared to the Wii U version.
So, question. So I got a quick question, Danny. You said that if you're playing Wii U if you're playing Zombie U, you would be going from the pad or the tablet thing, right?
Yeah.
You would have to put it down and grab the gamepad to make a change, and then go back to the tablet. Isn't that a little bit more? Isn't that more steps? You got to actually put the tablet down.
No, everything is,
and then
because everything is there, the map, and I could just walk around and just go to the gamepad and switch weapons, switch everything. Like, it's easier. This one I have to like press start, then go back, then select the. It's like a longer process. Like, also a lot of features.
You got to understand the game was designed for the Wii U. I don't know if there was ever a future plan to make that viable on other consoles.
No, I think it sold poorly. They wanted to see how it would do on other ones.
Yeah, but they didn't know.
But they didn't know at the time. It just after
they didn't know. Yeah, you're right.
It didn't
but see, if you, like, there's a couple of people that hit me up online. They'll go, "Hey, Godfrey, should I buy it?" Or look, if you have a Wii U, I recommend for you to buy the Wii U version. If you don't have a Wii U, I personally would say save your money and go with something else. If you're still very, very curious on it, go for it. It's only $20, but honestly, I'd rather play the Wii U version all the way. I think that's the superior version. And I don't know. It's just the only good thing is there's achievements. I mean, whatever. Or trophies, whatever. I mean, if you're into that stuff, it's up to you. I'm still playing it because I just want to finish it. But
is there online multiplayer for the multiplayer side of things?
No, there's not, dude. There's no multiplayer in this at all.
They took the multiplayer out. Not even the split screen.
Nothing.
What?
I don't know. The split screen.
Yeah, where it's like one person plays the FPS, the other player plays like the overlord spawning the zombies trying to kill you. That was the Wii U's multiplayer mode.
I don't know. I'm gonna check that. I think they removed that, Boston.
That's weird.
I think they did.
To me,
I don't see
is,
that.
Like you said, removing the fact that when other players died, you found their zombies, and more importantly, you found their stuff. I mean, that was a cool. That was kind of like emulating DayZ. People died.
Yeah, well, you could do that with your own character.
You could pick it up.
You could do that with your own character and like find where he dies or she dies, and you could get your backpack and all the weapons back. But I don't know, man. Honestly, guys, I prefer the Wii U version. Very quick. So another thing I would to talk about is Sega, one of my favorite gaming companies out there.
It's a labor of love.
They're not okay. So the Phantasy Star Online 2 on the PS4 is coming out in Japan. I believe they're gonna have this during the Tokyo Game Show very soon. They're gonna show it there and everything, but they're not planning to release this for the States. Very, very ridiculous. I think this is I got so angry about this because it's been a very, very long time. It's been out on the Vita. It's been out for the PC and now for the PlayStation 4, but only in Japan, but nothing yet here. Like, these people could make so much money if it's get released by the States.
Danny.
What?
Whoa, Jesus!
Whoa, what is your beef?
He's angry about this Phantasy Star. Well,
I am mad.
Well, I was gonna make a joke and say that there's a reason it's not coming out on PlayStation 4 because there's actually an updated version of that same game on the PlayStation 4. It's called Destiny, but you're so angry, I'm just gonna let it go. I'm not gonna go there. Leave it alone.
Oh my God. It's crazy.
They did tweak the combat a bit, didn't they?
Yeah, you know what it is? I look, I like Destiny and everything, man, but I just I don't know. Like to me, Phantasy Star Online was like a very special game to me. You know.
No, I get it. I totally
play.
get it. Yeah,
I prefer to
love
play that.
12 years ago.
So what? I mean, look, if it wasn't for that game, there would have been no GTR. You know, like that's a very special game to me. And I think, like, I know they released Phantasy Star Universe for the Xbox 360. The game was whatever, but this looks cool, man. Looks really, really cool, and I think this would be a great opportunity for Sega to make some quick money for the States. You know, like, hey, why not?
Yeah, at least like a digital download only version. You know, don't waste money printing copies for something that, you know, appeals to a certain hardcore base like you, Danny, that clearly wants it. I mean, I don't see why they can't just. I don't know, Danny. I agree. I think it's ridiculous. Phantasy Star, I think, is still a big enough title to move units with hardcore fans, and there are plenty of people would be like, "Oh, what's this? Haven't heard of this," or "I heard this a long time ago. Let me try it out." And I totally think that they could make it fun because it's a unique game. No other game really plays like it, and it, you know, like you said, that last one was not a worthy.
Not all that. No, yeah, but look at the success of Destiny. Yes, it's a first-person shooter, but this is a different style.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's a crowd for that are they're into that type of game. Why not release it and make some money?
Yeah,
I mean, there's, you know, I know the game is free, and the only way they make money is like, you know, little things like weapons or packs, you know, the usual free stuff. You know how it is. And they could make money with that here, man. You know, so I don't know.
Here's and this will take it to the conversation we were having last week when we were talking about Capcom. Maybe Sega's in a point right now. They're at a point right now where they can't take the risk to try and localize the game for North America and have it flop and lose money. They may be looking at it as, we know it's a success in Japan. It's working in Japan. We're just going to stick with Japan because we know it works. We don't want to take the risk of putting it elsewhere. It could be a financial reason.
Well, we'll see, guys. Go hit up Sega, Twitter, Facebook, email. Send. Hey, go for it. Make it happen, Sega. Release this game to the States, man. God damn it. All right, so... Anyways, we're going to take a short break, and once we come back, Pokken, you're going to be talking about the Call of Duty Black Ops 3 beta. I know you've been playing that for a couple of days.
I've been playing many a match on some Black Ops.
And
I want to talk to you about that.
believe you and Paris also been playing the new Gears of War HD.
Ultimate Edition, yes, sir.
Ultimate Edition. Okay. We're going to talk about that. And also fan mail, Pete's favorite.
Fan mail.
See, your voice is a lot better this time than last week.
I don't know. That was weak.
Week, but
I get
better
another
than
chance.
last week's.
Oh no, last week that was an abomination. I don't know what the hell that was.
Yeah, last week it sounded like you were like struggling.
It was the sick edition.
Fan mail sick edition. Oh my god! All right, so we'll be right back after this.
Voicemail 786-2737-GTR.
DraftKings.com, everybody. You've been scouting players for your season-long fantasy football team for months. Put that knowledge to the test every week at DraftKings.com, America's favorite one-week fantasy football site, where you could start the season by winning $2 million in week one. It's the biggest fantasy football contest ever. $10 million in prizes are up for grabs, including $2 million for first place and $1 million for second. I'm going to win first place. 1 week fantasy means no season-long commitments. It's fantasy football on demand. Play where you want, when you want, with the players you want. You've never experienced football like this. Just pick your players, pile up the points, pick up your cash. That's it. This isn't fantasy as usual. This is DraftKings. Welcome to the big time. I can't wait, folks. I am a football nut. I'm going to be locked in from August until February with the NFL and playing DraftKings, so let's go. Let's sign up now. A few preseason games to go before the regular season kicks off, so hurry to DraftKings.com now and use our promo code GamerTag to play for free to win your share of the $10 million being given away in week one. Enter that promo code GamerTag for free entry now at DraftKings.com. That is DraftKings.com.
Voicemail 786-2737-GTR.
All right, so we're back here, episode 499. The whole crew, remember to go to gamertagradio.com or play.it to listen to our past episodes and make sure to share it with your friends. All that stuff. So, Paris, Poston, Pete, We're going to be talking about the Black Ops 3 beta. Who's been playing it? Because I know Pete doesn't have a PlayStation 4, so...
Nope.
Yeah.
So it's only...
I didn't play it.
Playing it.
You haven't played? Okay. I play a little bit, not much, but Possen, I know you had it like way before everybody else because you got this beta early.
Put some hours
so
into it.
Let's talk about it. What are your thoughts so far about this?
So a little bit of background. I got to play a little bit of this at E3. I think this was the same beta build, but they've expanded upon it. It has about 4 or 5 maps on it. Has all the traditional game modes on there. But I mean, let's just talk about the core Call of Duty experience. I mean, this to me, just from the beta, is the most finely tuned Call of Duty I think they've made yet. The multiplayer works seamlessly. I like the map design, and I really like the features they put into it. So one of the big things here is they took a note from Advanced Warfare's movement system and Titanfall's movement system, or instead of you having a simple jump or double jump, now what you have is what I'd call a meter jump, where you have essentially an omnidirectional jump pack on your back that as many times as you tap X, you can keep jumping to reach, either impossible ledges, save yourself from falls. You can run on walls. You can slide underneath enemies. What I like is they change up the dynamics of the map too. So now like water plays a more critical effect. So in some levels, when you have underwater sections, you can dive into the water, swim almost just as fast as you can running, still shoot your guns, still stab people. The action never stops no matter where you are. Very fast, very frantic, but all with a good sense of teamwork. Because what I like is instead of what they used to have where you would, have a random character, create a class, what they have now is a thing called specialists. The specialist is essentially is their replacement for maybe like a class style warfare, where you have 9 specialists you can pick from. They're each 9 different character models. They have their own unique little personalities, outfits and all that kind of stuff. They talk to each other, a little bit of personalization here and there. But more importantly, you're picking these guys and women because they have certain power-ups. So all of them have 2 primary abilities. One is an offensive weapon-based one, and the other one is a defensive save your life one or save your teammates one. So to go through them, you have things like Ruin, where you have gravity spikes, where, if you're, come across a team of enemy players unexpectedly, you can pull a Destiny and, do that Titan fist slam thing, kill everybody around you, very satisfying. You have now basically the bow and arrow returns from previous Black Ops, but now it chooses exploding arrows as a specialist kill streak. When you unlock these things, if you're getting a certain number of points, you have them basically until you die. So you have to be very strategic with them. It's a very powerful weapon, but you can get overconfident, pull it out too early, get one shot, and then you lost and have to earn it all over again. So it's very rewarding to earn it and then very stressful to use it because you feel a responsibility to do well with it on your team. Moving on, you have a lightning gun that basically what's great is anybody you shoot, as they're dying, they become like a human conduit. So anyone that comes near them also gets shocked and killed as well, making it very lethal for people to stand next to each other. You have a grenade launcher that shoots sticky grenades and then runs the gamut. You can unlock extra classes as you go higher in level, all the way up to 40, 50, 60, that kind of stuff. Very cool. I like it a lot. It adds just a little bit of new and freshness to the gameplay because all those specials and supers running around kind of give it that Destiny edge of you have to be very careful of people when they have their superpower out, and your priority is to take them down or they're going to mess up your team. But I'm really liking the way it plays, it feels. I love the guns they added, good customization. One of the big things here, and this is going to probably divide people, is they finally changed the melee in Call of Duty now. So the knife is a separate weapon from what you normally have. So normally when you melee, you're just hitting them with the butt of your gun. It takes 2 of those to kill them, front or back. It's not a one-hit save your life anymore mode. So instead of a pistol, you have to equip a knife manually. That's a one-hit kill. Has a little bit of a lunge. It's not in the cheating territory in Modern Warfare 2, but it's still satisfying to use, and you do feel like a badass when you're using it. So I really think they kind of hit the best of both worlds here. It feels futuristic and science fiction-y, but not to the extent that Advanced Warfare was, and not to the extent Titanfall is. So even if you're a little sick of sci-fi shooters like I am, this game is still grounded enough in reality, and more importantly, it's a very fun shooter. You're going to enjoy this game. And the cool thing is they finally added back in, the blood and gore that hasn't been in the series since World at War. So when you stick somebody with an exploding arrow, they turn into dust, bloody dust all over the place. Very satisfying. You can lose your legs and stuff to landmines, and makes the battlefield feel more engaging and intense. But other than that, I'm very impressed by this. I think this game turned on my radar as soon as played at E3, and now that I've had a chance to put more hours into it and keep coming back to it, this is probably something I'll have to pick up when it comes out.
Hey, how was the online wise? Was it smooth? Was it buggy or what?
Pretty
flawless, honestly. I had a little bit of hiccups here and there, but overall, smooth sailing. Seemed like good servers, quick getting into matches, really not any delays when you load it up. I'm pretty impressed by it. I like the menu system. It's smooth. It works. Everything's where you expect it to be. I think this is a winner. I guess you just have to be completely sick of Call of Duty entirely not to even give this a passing glance. But right now, if you have a PlayStation 4, anybody can try the beta out. And I love you don't even need PlayStation Plus for it either. So even if you have a PS4, you're not sure about Call of Duty anymore, try this beta. I really think you'll be surprised by it because I know it really kind of just turned my opinion around. And now that I've gotten more chance to play it and will continue to play it until it runs out, I think this is a winner, honestly. And that's just me only seeing 4 of the 9 classes. I've seen some of the later classes that other people have unlocked. Some of them are really damn cool. You can play as a robot, a full robot, and his arm turns into a minigun. And he just starts robo-copping people, and it's just so badass. And he says all these cool RoboCop quotes with the computerized voice. I won't ruin them; you have to hear them, but they're great. But just all of that character and the Call of Duty culture all into a great little package. And again, as I said, the important part is it controls very, very smoothly, 60 frames per second. This is the Call of Duty you remember. But they added enough new stuff. I think you need to check this out. It is very fun.
By the time the show comes out, it should be out on Xbox One as well, right? Because I think PlayStation got the exclusive for the beta access.
They did get a week early. So yeah, you're right. Xbox One should be live by then.
All right, so
I look forward to trying Xbox One as well to compare and contrast what the experiences are like.
So now that we've gotten that part out, my fear is: are we seeing Titan? Are we seeing Titan Destiny ops?
Yes.
Because it sounds to me like Destiny came out and Titanfall came out and Activision said, you know what? Let's scrap whatever we were currently doing for Call of Duty Black Ops and let's do this. Let's as I think Poston, I think you coined the phrase a while back, let's do a focus group game.
Mm-hmm. I think you're totally right because again, my fantasy for this game was going back to World War II. But, we are in the minority, and I accept that. People have moved on. But that said, even though it does feel kind of focus groupy, it doesn't take away from how blatantly fun the game is.
And that's the thing that I've heard from friends and from reading online and, watching videos of people playing it. Everybody's thoroughly enjoying it, even though it seems to be an amalgamation of every other game that's out there right now.
Yeah,
exactly. Go ahead, Barris.
Well, I wanted to jump in real quick it's not a bad thing, though, that as you were describing it, all I thought about was Titanfall, and you kept referencing Destiny as well in your description. It's not a bad thing. It's what people want right now. So Activision saw that, and they adapted to it, and that's what they made the game. And you also made another a comment about people that have moved on from Call of Duty and wouldn't even give this a second look. I'm one of those people. I know the beta's been available. I have not even attempted to try and play it, but maybe I will. Maybe I will do my due diligence and actually just play the game and see if it's something that I want to be interested in. Because to be completely honest, Call of Duty is not even on my radar for this holiday.
So a good friend of mine that I work with, him and I, we, obviously, we're Destiny fans. We play a lot of Destiny, and we have a lot of similarities with gameplay. Like we used to be heavy, nonstop. All it was Call of Duty. Then Destiny came out, and we kind of left the Call of Duty mothership. But he says he's been playing it for the past week, and it's like, this is the best Call of Duty I have played. It's
that is good.
Yeah, which hopefully it is. Hopefully it pulls me out of a little bit of Destiny. I don't want to say all of it because I really like Destiny, but hopefully this forces me to split up my time and start playing something else other than Destiny. I mean, it sounds interesting. I'm kind of disappointed in that there's almost way too many similarities with the specials from Destiny. You've got the Fist of Havoc where you crash the floor. There's a type of blink strike where you can go back 30 feet during an attack. I saw a video of somebody, they were about to drop a missile attack on him, and he did, I'm going to call it the blink strike because that's what it's called in Destiny.
It's called glitch in this game.
Okay, so that's right. That's right. But he goes back 30 feet, and then the explosions drop right in front of him where he was just a second ago. And it's that perturbs me, but it kind of gives me something okay, well, I'm kind of used to doing this already. Yeah. So the transition from Destiny to the new, to Black Ops 3 shouldn't be as difficult.
And that's the thing is I feel like you're definitely using the same skill set, because as soon as I realized how maneuverable I was in this game, as I am in Destiny, where it's just, I think that game spoils me of how well you move and jump and run around. This game comes really close to emulating that style of game, and to me that makes it more fun, because then I'm thinking more of that Halo Destiny kind of mentality where, you know, I have control of the map. You know, I need to establish dominance over certain points and sight lines and control, you know, there aren't any weapon spawns, obviously, because Call of Duty, but it's still some mentality of it, as opposed to old Call of Duty, which is just spawn, run, shoot people, die, spawn, run, shoot people, and die. And I feel like now that I've gone to this, I couldn't go back and play the older Call of Duties again, where it's literally just running around and shooting people and dying and repeating that. Having this new freedom to move around makes me feel empowered. And more importantly, it makes me less frustrated, because usually Call of Duty can be a very frustrating game when you keep getting, you know, screwed over or, you know, getting spawn killed. This game, I feel like my life is more in my own hands, because I have the speed and quickness. And that's the cool thing is, like, every class has this ability. You're not limited by, you know, oh, I picked the heavy class so I can't move as fast. No, everybody moves around like lightning. And it's really fun and satisfying to, you know, like run, sprint, do like that extended boost sliding thing to somebody, pull up, shotgun them, keep running. All very similar to Crucible, Destiny kind of stuff. But again, because I'm playing it on PS4 and I play Destiny on PS4, I'm really going through the exact same motions, using the exact same skill sets, and having pretty similarly the same amount of fun, but with that Call of Duty edition of you are getting more combat, because Crucible is can be a bit more defensive in some places because you have shields. This game, you don't. It's straight in your face. And the coolest thing is, like, I really enjoy the base game, but the fact that they don't have hardcore mode in the beta disappoints me. But that gets me more excited, because as a hardcore Call of Duty player, I can see how much better this game will be when you have hardcore and you take the gloves off and you don't have some of those cheap, oh, I shot that guy 4 times in the back, but he rounded the corner so he lived and got away. You have a little bit of that because this is still core Call of Duty, but the majority of the weapons are very powerful and make you feel cool. And again, Barris, I think you should try it just to get one of these cool weapon abilities like the powers in Destiny, because that to me is like the oh wow moment. I feel like a legit badass now. I can see why they went this method, because they want the players to be more like, you know, oh, I'm terrible, you know, I can't get a kill streak. But now it's like, oh, it's not continuous kills, it's just earning enough points, and then you have the ability to unlock it, use it, make the best of it. If you die, it's gone, so restart. So it's not overpowered, but still pushes you forward to get better, because anybody can access this stuff and have fun. It's not restricted behind a skill wall like the old kill streaks used to be.
See, that's the great thing about, you know, developers now taking, instead of releasing games every 2 years, now they have more time to develop and come on board.
Development cycle. And this to me feels like the first full 3-year development Call of Duty game, which is an overly bold statement, I will admit, based off of the beta. But I mean, I don't think they'll mess up the single player at all. They've always had a good Black Ops single player. Yeah. And this is an indication of the multiplayer that they're going to have. I'm enjoying it.
Cool. A lot. All right. So let's go very quick. Paris and Pokken. I know you guys been playing Gears of War. Let's talk about that, the Ultimate Edition.
Yeah.
Go for it.
So I've only played solo campaign. I haven't done co-op and I have not done multiplayer. But from what I have played, this reminded me of why I love Gears of War in the first place, versus once we got down the road into Gears 3 and into Judgment. I think it kind of lost its way a little bit.
Absolutely.
This was that original gameplay, survival horror type element that was there that I enjoyed so much. Even though I played through this campaign a million times 10 years ago, it felt fresh to me again, which is kind of weird to say. Even though I knew what was coming, I knew what the cutscenes were going to be, it still felt fresh. The graphical update that they've done feels good. Like I said, it's at the 1080p, 60 frames per second. It looks great. They've redone the cutscenes. You know, like you can tell little changes, like and I'm forgetting his name now, but the one when General Ram kills like the original
Lieutenant Kim,
kills him.
Was that much better in this cutscene? Wow, like a new experience.
Yeah. So I'm digging it, man. I think if you're a fan of Gears at the price point, because I believe it's $40 to get this game.
It is $40.
I mean, it's almost a no-brainer to pick up if you're a fan of Gears, just for the simple fact, not only are you getting a remastered version of Gears 1 at what I consider a reasonable price, they're also giving you Gears 2, 3, and Judgment backwards compatible just for playing it. You're going to get those when backwards compatibility opens up on Xbox One. So it's a great deal. It really is. And like I said, I've not even touched multiplayer yet or done this co-op, which I'm looking to do. And just so you know, Danny, I played this not on insane mode, but I think it's in hardcore. I think that's the next highest mode. That's the mode I played on. Not easy.
Okay.
Hardy, hard.
All right.
Took me a second to catch that.
Yeah.
I don't play easy games.
Well, I am playing on Insane, and it is really fun. But I have got a chance to play the co-op. What I really like is you can you either have a private Xbox Live session for your friends, or you can host a public co-op session, which essentially is you just play the single player, and whenever someone searches for a game to play, they automatically drop into your game. Doesn't affect your experience, doesn't stop anything, you don't have to reload. They can play with you. As soon as they leave, the AI takes back over and you don't miss a beat. It's a great feature, and I've met a couple of new friends through this method of people just randomly, because I wanted someone to play with, and Paris's copy wasn't working at the time, so I just managed to find people through through the random search, and found a couple of really good people, and shout out to this one guy. I forgot his gamer tag, but he was good. Like, we were on the same skill level, and we were just like destroying, because there was the one really tough part in the game where you have to like take over that emulsion station in the bottom of the caverns while they're on guards when they first show up with the torque bows, and we did that in like one try on insane mode. And to me, that's the kind of experience, that adrenaline, that thrill of like getting into the heat of combat, but knowing that you can be like chainsaw or killed in one shot. Very fun. Like Paris said, visually it's gorgeous. So even though I played through this game so many times, seeing those cutscene again, I was excited to watch them. Seeing, getting excited to see, what are they going to do with this scene? What are they going to do with this scene? The lighting, the atmosphere, gorgeous. It's just such a beautiful game. And I was really fortunate too, because it was frustrating because the multiplayer obviously isn't really up yet because there aren't enough people on the servers to find anybody to matchmake with. Right. But I was lucky enough to find a custom game, one of these friends I made was holding. So I did manage to play a good 4v4 and then 3v3 multiplayer for about a solid hour, going through about half of the game's 19 maps, alternating between Execution and King of the Hill. So much fun. Just as much fun, if not more. The game was 9 years ago, because now it's 60 FPS. Now the visuals are fantastic. There's no more of that squinting. It's like, I can't tell if that's a guy or a weapon all there in the distance. So you can see everything. Feels powering, and really like playing in some of these maps again is like, oh wow, they really went out of their way to make them all have that eye-popping wow moment that you had back with the Unreal Engine 3 years ago, and now they've reaccomplished that. And that's just, to me, thing is, you make a game that's, I played hundreds of hours, feel fresh again, and maybe excited to be like, oh man, I can't see what Canals looks like, or Gridlock, or Bullet Marsh, and they really were still well-designed maps, and more
now, here's a question I got for you, though. Since you got to play the multiplayer. Does it play like the original Gears 1 multi, or more like Gears 3 multi?
It's just like Gears 1 multi. The only thing you're adding is you're having the ability you can tag enemies like in Gears 3. But honestly, in my entire hour of playing, no one tagged anybody, because we were all so hardcore into Gears 1 mentality. We didn't even use the extra features like the tagging, because most rounds end within like 3 minutes. You're all rushing each other, shotgun, chainsaw, everyone's dead, you win, move on. But yeah, it still feels tight. The cover system is still fantastic. I never feel like I'm getting stuck on anything. I can move how I want to move. I still have those epic rushes to like the power weapons and try to race each other and out-snipe each other. All the same experiences are there, but with that fresh coat of paint. And more importantly, I'm excited because they've added new multiplayer modes. Like I said, King of the Hill has been added from Gears of War 3. You have a 2v2 execution mode you can do, where it's just straight up shotgun dueling. They have a new one called Blitz you can do as well from Gears of War 3. I think there's a total of like maybe 6 or 7 game modes across 19 maps. Again, this is a steal at $40. If you had any attachment to the original game, you have to get this. I think this will be the new hot thing on Xbox Live, because you're going to have to drag me off this game. I mean, it's going to have to be probably the day Halo 5 comes out. I'll be like, oh, okay, I'll stop playing this to play the campaign of Halo 5, see what's up with that. But then I'm going right back into Gears multiplayer. Well, it's really like, ooh, it was fun. Go, sorry.
Well, the one thing that I can take away from this being 10 years ago, it still has the best cover system I've played in 10 years.
Oh, absolutely.
Still.
Better than Rainbow Six?
Yes, because the thing about it was I just picked up the controller, and I've not played Gears in a few years, like any version of it. But I literally just picked up that controller, and I was back at home again. I just started running through it, hitting the cover system, doing everything just like it was 10 years ago. And nothing, in my opinion, still comes close to it, even Rainbow.
You see, I'm afraid to pick it up just because the last time I played Gears, I kept getting my head split open by Brian at PAX. Like
Brian is really good.
Yeah, it was just
He's really good.
For those that don't know, I think it was PAX 08 or something like that. Courtesy of Windows, or actually it was Microsoft, and I think it was 6OK was the community manager for Gears of War at the time.
Yeah.
He set up a match on the middle of the Microsoft, show floor. It was Gamertag Radio versus Sarcastic Gamer, kind of like giving Sarcastic Gamer an opportunity to save face after getting destroyed when we did a Call of Duty battle between the sites. And
Yes.
It wasn't until like the last round and we were getting destroyed that I finally realized how to roadie run. And I was like, hey, I figured out how to roadie run. Headshot. And it was just, I haven't played it since because I didn't want to play it anymore because it just left such a bad taste in my mouth because I was just getting destroyed. But it sounds like fun. I'm kind of interested. I want to go in and hopefully do like a 4-player. Can you do 4-player co-op?
No, it's still 2-player.
No. Player.
But yeah, I mean,
It's still fun though.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I would say just in closing on this, the one thing that this did for me was it felt like a palate cleanser from Gears 3 and Judgment because I didn't like either one, just to be perfectly honest with you. And I'm anticipating Gears 4 just from the little demo they showed us at E3. I feel like that demo is closer to what this Gears 1 is versus what they were doing by the time they got to Gears 3 and to Judgment.
Exactly. And with that new lighting system for Ultimate, you can really get the full vision of what Cliffy B and Mark Ferguson wanted to accomplish. And this is, I think, that final version of that vision. And what blows my mind is like it still feels fresh 9 years later when nothing has changed just because it worked so well that first time. And like we've said, that cover system, you tap that A button, it just slap into that wall, turn around, hop over something. Can't beat that. And that shotgun, man, still the best shotgun I think in gaming.
Yeah, just slight correction, just so we don't get hate mail. Rod Ferguson, not Mark Ferguson.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, Rod.
Mark Ferguson. All right, it's time for that favorite segment of the show. Fan mail.
Fan mail at gamertagradio.com.
Fan mail.
Really, P? You have to say it twice?
3 times.
3 times? It's all good. All right, so let's play this voicemail. This is from a new listener. His name is Lewis. Let's play it right now.
Hey, guys. How's it going? This is Lewis. I am from Detroit, Michigan. Love your guys' show. I just started listening a few weeks ago, and I've just been hammering out episode after episode. You guys are doing a great job. Anyways, had a couple questions for you. The first one is, when can I expect another great JRPG? I miss playing those ones back in the day, like Suikoden, Wild Arms, Legend of Dragoon, Final Fantasy VII. I've really missed playing games like that. I've been looking for a good one, and I really can't find anything on it. And the other question I have for you guys is if they could make a sequel for a game that they haven't made one for yet, which game would it be for you guys? Personally, I loved Chrome Hounds. I think they made another one in Japan that never got released here. But I just thought that game was great. And unlike any other game that had been made, it just didn't have that big of a following for some reason. And I really don't understand why. But, yeah, that's it. Again, great job, guys. Love your show. Keep it up. Thanks.
All right, so we have 2 questions for all of us. Who would like to answer it?
I think
I have one.
Austin should do the JRPG stuff.
Okay. So I've been thinking on this, and I agree. I kind of crave some traditional JRPG, but I feel like in this new atmosphere, I don't know how well they would work. Obviously, I would love the Dragon Quest to come over here because that looks like that style of game. I would recommend to you, if you haven't tried already, Final Fantasy Type 0. It was a PSP game years ago, and they ported it to Xbox One and PS4 earlier this year. It's an action RPG, but it has a lot of that traditional JRPG depth and, rewarding you for really getting into it and staying with it for the long haul. A lot of cool features in there, and more importantly, really cool combat system because it's like, I think it's 13 unique character classes you can use, and you can upgrade them individually. You have 3 at a time. You can swap in and out of them. I would point you towards that, because the issue is if you want more of the traditional turn-based RPG, you more have to go towards the 3DS at that point.
Would you say Persona 5 or something like that would qualify as a JRPG? Because that might be something that he could go towards.
Yes, but Persona is weird because it's a love it or hate it kind of thing, because it's very non-traditional with, some of the I guess you'd call it like the life sim, dating sim parts of the game that throw people off of it versus the traditional turn-based RPG. But that's a good catch. That probably is other things I'd point you towards, because that's going to be a turn-based game, so you have the reliability that, if you like that kind of combat system and you like that kind of pace of a game, Persona is a good call. I just didn't say that one because, it's not out yet, and I haven't even played it. I've only seen, CGI cutscenes, so I have no idea what it's going to be like. But given the Persona pedigree, I think it's definitely a solid recommendation. I just wish we'd had more selection. I know these games, exist in Japan. Some of them never come over here. But I really do think, with the popularity of the PS4, you can put JRPGs back on the mainstream, because PlayStation fans crave those games, and even Xbox One fans would play some of these games. But really, I guess the only sure bet for me is going to be Final Fantasy 15, just because I have played the demo for that game. I do think it's fantastic. It looks like that's the kind of like large world building, suck you in experience, essentially like, the Japanese Witcher 3. I think they're going to be very similar style of games of how much time you divulge into them and how much, you really want to spend, immersing yourself into it. But, I would say that one.
Yeah. There was a couple games that came out for the Xbox 360 was pretty good. Lost Odyssey, Blue Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, they were cool. And I hope it will work. Finally, you could play this on the Xbox One in the future. We'll see. But
I don't know if this next one comes out. I don't know if it's considered JRPG, but they just had a big announcement at D23, which is the Disney showcase.
Yeah.
Was it Kingdom Hearts 3? Does that qualify as a JRPG?
Oh, yeah, it does. But again,
and it's going to be available for both consoles too.
We don't know what's going to come out. I forget.
Well, that's what I read. I read that from different people that they say it's coming out for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
And they announced Big Hero 6 characters are going to be in there. So, Baymax!
Yeah, that's gonna be cool. Okay. Well, I know Lewis wanted to know of a game that we would like to see a sequel. I'll tell you this one that came out during the last gen, Internal Sonata. I think people slept on that game. Is that considered? It's an RPG, but is that considered JRPG?
That is very much a JRPG. Yeah.
Well, they should release that game, a sequel. That game was so much fun. I like it a lot. So. What about you guys? Any other games that you would like to see a sequel? That
I don't know. I might agree with them, because I spent way too much time on Chrome Hounds back in the day. So that was a lot of fun for me. I really dig the whole, big hulking mechs, like Pacific Rim type, battle type game. So I wouldn't say no to a Chrome Hounds 2 or Chrome Hounds 3 if they were able to make a sequel. Okay. So I'll Lou, shout out. Fist bump.
What about you, Paris?
I have two. Beyond Good and Evil. I think that's just the default answer to any time you talk about a sequel. But the other one for me would be Cameo. I really liked Cameo at the launch of the Xbox. Why they never made a sequel, I'll never know. But I would have loved to have seen them continue that story.
They did work. They were working on it. Then it got canceled. I know if you play Rare Replay, and there's a video that they talk about like unreleased games that got canceled. Cameo 2 was one of them. They have it there too. So they talked about it, and they show like different designs and everything. So really, really cool. Patrick, very quick, any sequels?
Yeah, I guess I'll throw out two as well. First one for me is Metal Gear Rising. Still one of my favorite action games ever. Totally over the top, ridiculous, and a lot of replay value. Been replaying through that game recently. And Sleeping Dogs. I really, really want another one of those games.
No, they are. There is going to be a sequel.
Oh, sweet. Then bring it on. That's what I want.
Well, he just fainted, guys.
And you're right. When you talk about open world games, that is easily the most underrated open world game ever. If you ever pick up the PC version, there's always Steam sales going on for that stuff.
So much fun.
Yeah, so much fun.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Metal Gear, there's a couple emails and even tweets that's like directly to Paris. Paris, please.
Well, we have another voicemail.
Go for it.
Do you not want to play that?
Yeah, let's go. I was trying to save it, but
we'll save it. I'll deal with the Metal Gear stuff. So yeah, we got some emails and we got some tweets because after last week I explained my reason for why I wasn't going to pick it up at launch, and people were kind of mad at me because, you know, we don't know the whole story with Konami and Kojima. We don't know which side is right, which side is wrong. Someone was upset that I wasn't going to pick it up because I'm expecting it to have bugs. Hello, have you not seen video games in the last 2 years? A lot of them come out with bugs. So for me to just kind of anticipate that before it even happens is not surprising, especially with all the issues between Kojima and Konami. Do you really think that the development, the closing of this game has been tight? I personally don't. You know what I mean? Look, to sum it up, I just think with all the drama, whoever's right, whoever's wrong between Konami and Kojima, especially the fact that Konami's going to go a different direction after this Metal Gear game, you know, as far as their development process goes and just the platforms that they're going to be on, I don't want to support this at launch either way. You know, no matter who's right or wrong, I'd rather wait. And with all the other games that are coming out this holiday, I'm not going to focus my attention on a game that may or may not live up to the expectations that I wanted to. And I'll also throw in my personal opinion, you can send the hate mail to fanmail@gamertagradio.com. You can hit me up on Twitter @vicious696. There has not been a good Metal Gear game since the first one. There
what? Whoa, hold up. Woo! What? Standing up in my chair over here.
So there you go. And I say it, and I'll say this. I've played, look, 2 with the little switcheroo thing annoyed me. 3 was okay. 4, and so now we get to 5, and whatever. You know, it's whatever. I'll play it when I play it. It's not something.
Hey, Paris, I'll stand right next to you. I've only played and enjoyed one game, which is Metal Gear Solid back in 98, 99 or whatever. Or was it? No, maybe earlier than that. But I'm not a big Metal Gear fan. Yeah. It does nothing for me.
It's not in my top 5 franchises that when I hear that name, I'm like, oh my God, I got to go pick it up day one. So throw in all the other drama on top of it. I can wait. Now, look, don't get me wrong. Taking Metal Gear open world and you can do whatever you want when you want, to just all the things that come with the game. I am intrigued by it. I was initially intrigued by it when it debuted at the Xbox One E3 press conference a couple of years ago. But throw in all the stuff with Kojima and just I'm expecting issues is my point. I'm expecting this game to have problems when it launches. If it doesn't, good for the game, but doesn't mean that I need to give Konami my $60. As a consumer, I choose what games I want to support and what I don't want to support, and this is just one that I'm not going to support at launch. I'll see it on a Steam sale probably sometime in 2016.
Patrick, are you going to stay quiet? Say something to Paris,
I'm
quick.
letting him have his piece. But okay, first off, Metal Gear Solid 5 is very much in my top 5 game series of all time. One of my favorite storylines in gaming. Yes, it is convoluted, all hell and back, but I really, really enjoy it. Metal Gear Solid 3 is the best one, in my opinion, no question. I love them all. For me, it comes down to 2 things. The plot is one of the biggest unanswered questions of the game because it's filling in the gap between Metal Gear Solid 3 and the original Metal Gear Solid of how Big Boss becomes essentially the big bad guy that you defeat in the original Metal Gear in Outer Heaven all those years ago. So you're getting all of this exposition of stories. If you are following the lore, if you do follow the plot lines, it is a lot of really cool stuff and a lot of showing off a lot of cool villains that you haven't gotten to see in person yet. On top of this, Bear said, it's in Afghanistan. You have the day-night cycle. You can attack missions in any way you want, anytime you want. But for me, it's the gameplay. I played Ground Zeroes. It is fantastic, in my opinion. I love it. It's a very good third-person shooter, which is strange from a Japanese developer, to be perfectly honest. The Japanese really do not do shooters very well that often. I think they nailed it with Metal Gear Solid 5. They finally figured out, this is the final version of what we Metal Gear Solid to play like. This is how Snake should move. This is how she react to environments. I feel very much in control, and more importantly, I feel like the ultimate mercenary badass, which is what Big Boss is. So for me, I'm there day one for Kojima. Yes, it sucks what Konami has maybe or maybe not done to him, because really we don't know. We don't sit in those boardroom meetings. But for me, I'm still going to give my $60 day one to Konami and hopefully to Kojima, because I want Kojima to know that his last Konami game is going to be a success. And I think it will be. I don't expect issues at launch. Metal Gear Solid 4 didn't really have any issues at launch for at least the single-player part of the game. Multiplayer is obviously an unknown factor entirely. But I'm very excited for this game. This is one of my big games of the year. One of the reasons I initially knew I was going to get an next-gen console was going to be Metal Gear Solid 5. So I'm all on board, but I can totally understand Paris's
and look, don't get me wrong. I know I'm in the minority here. You know what I mean? I'm just obviously just giving my opinion on it, you know, since people, you know, got upset with me. I understand that there is a huge audience for Metal Gear, and there are very passionate fans for Metal Gear, and they love it. But just for me, it never attached to me. It never was something like, again, I talk all this crap about Halo 5 or whatever, but when you mention the name Halo, I sit up in my seat. You know what I mean? Oh, Halo, what's going on here? But
that's beef of Metal Gear.
Yeah, it just never did it for me.
All right,
fair enough.
Now, should we now play the voicemail?
Yes,
Paris?
please.
All right, let's play the voicemail very quick.
What's up, Gamertag Radio? This is your boy Walker Son calling from Lynchburg, Virginia. I was listening to the show, and usually when y'all guys say something to get me all heated up, I just let it go. But I just heard Paris, I just heard him say, complain about the story in Master Chief Collection. He described it as being like convoluted. Man, you a Destiny player. Now, as a fellow Destiny player, I got 3 level 34 characters. I love the game. I love the lore. But we can't say nothing about story in any other game because all of that story is in the Grimoire. So, you know, I just had to call Paris out on that. You know, man, you better tighten up, man. What you doing talking about some other story? But the only other thing that I want to mention that nobody else has mentioned is being that I'm a lore nut and I enjoy Destiny's lore. It's got an awesome story, just none of it's in the game. I love the Halo lore, read the majority of the books. So as that type of Halo fan, what I've wanted from the very beginning is to see Blue Team in there. So I want that 4-player co-op. I want there to be Fred, Linda, Kelly, and Master Chief. That's what I'm looking forward to. But it seems like must not be many other people that are looking forward to that. So I'm really excited about the game. You know, hopefully you guys will be as well. All right. Appreciate it. Enjoy the show as always. Peace.
All right. Thoughts?
Okay. First and foremost, if you want to call me out on a game, get the game correct. Was not talking about Master Chief Collection. I was talking about Halo 4. And please tell me where I'm wrong, that was not a convoluted story that just changed the direction of where they're going with Master Chief and everything. I just didn't like it. That's just my personal opinion. I didn't like what 343 did with the Halo 4 story. I also didn't like what they did gameplay-wise with the Forerunners and introduction of their weapons and all that. Just didn't like it. Again, wasn't Halo to me. The parts of Halo 4 that I did like was when I was going up against the Covenant, not the Forerunners. So again, going into my worries about Halo 5 is we need more Covenant, a little less on the Forerunner stuff. So we'll see on that. Story-wise, again, we'll see. But going back to last week, just like I was saying to Danny, what has 343 done to garner my trust that they're the right people to take this franchise forward? I don't know what it is. Now, when we talk Destiny, of course, the story, there is no story. We know that. That's been the big joke about it the entire time. Yet, I've sunk in 30 plus days of gameplay time into this game. So it's doing something right on the gameplay side. I don't think anybody can argue that. Hopefully with the Taken King, they'll fix some of the story stuff and it'll make more sense. You don't have to go to Bungie.net and read the Grimoire cards to actually know about the lore. Hey, you said it yourself. You got 3 level 34 characters. So obviously you're a big Destiny fan as well. But when it comes to Halo, I play Halo for the story more so than the sandbox at this point. You know what I mean? I want a solid Halo story. And when you talk about the co-op stuff and the blue team and all that, I don't want that from Halo. But that's me. That's my own personal opinion. And I just happen to be on the podcast, so I'm expressing it. But if that's what you want, I'm sure there's other people out there that are looking forward to the co-op and looking forward to hearing more about Blue Team and all that kind of stuff. I'm just not one of those people. So
yeah, it's strange. And I am. Because, like, for me, like, I'm with you, Paris. I didn't care before at all. I really have no expectations for the story of this game. But now the expectation is there because you're bringing up Blue Team. You're bringing out a pretty huge part of, you know, I guess, the expanded Halo universe from the novels with 3 very fully developed, fleshed out characters that most people are going to be like, who? What? Who are they? Who are these people? Where do they come from? So really, if they mess it up, then it's like, why even bother? But for me, yes, I'd like my single player Halo, but if I can get some cool dialogue between Master Chief and his childhood friends he trained and fought with over dozens of years, that sounds interesting as a replacement for the fact that, spoilers, Cortana's gone, so you're losing that human element of Master Chief. So that to me is the only interesting part of the game right now, as opposed obviously playing with you guys at launch 4-player co-op. I'm sure we'll have a lot of fun with that. But, if they mess up Blue Team, I'm kind of throwing my hands on there like, oh, well, Halo lore's dead. But got to give them a chance,
Now, I also say this because, again, people are just mad at me, I guess. So
remember, email fanmail at Gamertag Radio or his Twitter, Vicious696.
Trust me, I get it on my Twitter. So people hit me up on Twitter and talking about, because I got accused of doing this for clickbait, which really doesn't make sense because I'm just saying it on my personal Twitter. So what are you clicking on? This is just my Twitter. You know what? I'm not telling you to go listen to Gamertag Radio to hear it. I'm just ranting on my Twitter. But someone had said, because I was talking about Halo 5, they were saying, but you have to have change to move the franchise forward. And I agree. You can't just keep doing the same thing over and over. I just worry that this isn't the right form of change for the franchise, because when I think of Halo and when I think of Master Chief is the demon. He is the one Spartan that the Covenant fear. He is the one savior of the universe. And by now making it this 4-player co-op with the Blue Team, you're basically telling me that Master Chief isn't the super soldier badass that we've come to know in the first 3 or 4 games with Master Chief. He now needs the help of his other team to help save the galaxy. To me, that's a radical change from what Halo is all about, because the whole point of Halo was Spartan 117. You were him in the game saving the universe. Now it's Spartan 117 and like Spider-Man and his amazing friends saving the galaxy. I don't necessarily know that that's what I want. But again, it's my personal opinion, and I'll say it for the 10 millionth time. I hope I am wrong.
Yeah.
Remember, Vicious696 on Twitter.
There's I can only hope the game is 4 times as difficult to make up for you to subscribe, because I agree. If I'm going to be a badass and you give me 3 other badasses, we better be challenged. If we're destroying the game, where's the fun in that?
But I think we will. That's not.
Oh, we will.
Point.
Oh,
that's
no
not
doubt.
my point. I think the co-op aspect of it will be compelling. My issue is if my 3 friends aren't around, you're now giving me 3 AI characters that I have to still rely on as if they were real characters versus the way Halo 3 did it with the Arbiter. The Arbiter was always with you for the most part, but if you weren't playing in the co-op mode, he was kind of irrelevant. He was off to the side. He wasn't something that was actively helping you get through the level. And that's what worries me, is the AI aspect of this co-op thing. And again, we'll see. Hopefully they pull it off and my mind is just blown and it's amazing. I hope so. The power of the cloud.
And make Paris faint.
Yes.
Make Paris faint. Yes. All right, so we're going to wrap it up. But before we do, Paris and Pete, I know you guys fainted a couple times last week because Bungie had a live stream about Destiny Taken King. Very quick, tell us what they talked about.
Well, not to get into just specific details of it, because you can go watch the live stream and all that, and that's not what this podcast is for. But hey, soon it will be Destiny Talk Radio, baby. But I'm ready. But I like the changes. I like a lot of the changes, and there's some that I don't like, but I understand why they're doing them, because to push the game forward and to fix some of the mistakes that they did in year 1. But yeah, I like the fact that they're doubling the vault space. I like what they're doing with the weapons now in so much that you can, if you find a gun that you really like in year 2, you don't have to leave it behind because of light level. You can basically infuse that weapon or infuse that piece of armor and keep its light level high enough so that you can use it in the end game content. And I think that's great.
Okay. I know, very quick, shout out to Arctic. I know he sent us an email about a fan mail, but the funny thing about this email, he started off with, "Hey, what's going on, Danny and the Destiny's Peas?"
Well, no, but Pete, what are your thoughts? I don't want to hog it.
No, that's fine. I like you said, I love how they doubled the vault space, because I think that was one of the biggest complaints of people that consistently played Destiny throughout the year. It's just, they give you so many things, but they're telling you not to get rid of it because, you don't know what they're going to be able to do. But that was one of the biggest complaints. There's not enough vault space to hold all of your stuff for 3 people in one single vault. I like what they did with the currency. So now you can, they're increasing that, and now you're able to do or get marks across all 3 characters. So you're no longer stuck with sapphire wire for the hunters or steel plating for your titans. Now you have marks that are usable for all 3 of your characters. And you're no longer just, you're no longer farming, specific armor engrams just so that you can upgrade your armor. I thought that was really cool. I love the fact you can turn in your quest at any given time, and I think we had already known that prior to that. But you don't have to go back to the social, the place up in the reef, or you don't have to go back to the tower to turn them in. You can turn them in as soon as you complete them, and the dances. I want the hammer dance for my character. I don't know about you guys.
Well, just to add into what you're saying, but just the fact that the way that they revamped the entire the quest system itself, the way they've revamped the bounties, the fact that now the gunsmith is relevant. You have arms day. It's all these little things that quite honestly should have been there from day one that we're now getting with the Taken King. That's, as Bungie has said, they're respecting our time more, because like you said, just a little thing of being able to turn in your bounties from your character and not have to go to the tower. That was just a time waste. You're wasting time going to the tower to do that, where now you can just do it and keep playing the game as you see fit. I do like the fact that they've now separated the leveling system and the light system. And now everything that you equip matters with your light. So the ghost has light, your class items has light, just everything. So I'm hyped. And I know we probably talk about this game too much on this podcast as it is, but this is when I think of Destiny a year ago, these are more of what I thought Destiny was going to be when we got the game at launch. So I'm excited. Well,
considering where it is now, as compared to where it was a year ago, all of the changes. This is what gamers want, in my opinion, from a game like Destiny. That they're not just looking at the first year, and this is what you get. They've listened to the people. They may not have listened to every single request from every single player, but they've taken the most requested type changes. Okay, we're going to change the light system, we're going to change the leveling up, we're going to change the gunsmith was useless for the first 6 to 8 months, and then they said, okay, well, now we're going to bring him more into play. I still want to know who the stranger is. I still want to know that story. Hopefully we get more of that as the years go by, as 2, maybe 2.5 or 3, but they start bringing in all of it. And I think and I know we've all heard the rumors or conspiracies of the story and how spread out and broken and how they were supposed to release it. It almost gives me a sense of, okay, well, maybe they did it this way so that they can piece it in over the 10-year period, which is what Bungie always wanted to do. This wasn't a one-game scenario. It was a 10-year experience. So I think maybe doing it the way they did, fracturing all the different components so that as the years come, pieces of the puzzle start coming and the picture starts getting formed overall of the whole Destiny experience. So shout out to them. Hopefully we'll get some more insight coming soon.
That's right. Yeah. 2 weeks. All right. 2 weeks. Destiny Talk Radio will be real.
Danny's going to go on a vacation.
Yeah, I'm taking a week off.
Yeah, guys. Danny's not going to be on that episode.
All right, so guys, we're going to, that's it. I think we were going to wrap it up now. And we'd like to thank you. This was a pretty fun episode, right? It was good. Liked it.
Yeah.
And I'm very, very excited about our 500th episode coming out next week. Stay tuned for that. We're going to surprise you guys. And then that's it. Head over to gamertagradio.com or play.it. Listen to our past episodes or give us a call, 786-273-7GTR. That's 786-273-7GTR. Email us, fanmail@gamertagradio.com. Arctic, shout out to you. I know you sent this great email, but we're going to read it hopefully next week in the next episode. And I think it fits perfect for our 500th episode and stuff. And guys, you want to say anything else?
I got one last thing because I want to make sure I get this in. I just recorded a podcast with the Married Gamers, I would love for you guys to go check it out because myself and Jay, who I originally did Uncle Gamer with, and we still, when we can, do remember when. We basically broke down our history together, just going through how we got into podcasting, Uncle Gamer, remember when, where we are now, me being with GTR, and then him now being in the gaming industry as a developer. It was a great conversation. We had a lot of fun. So if you want to know a little bit more about me, you want to know about how I met Danny, and here's some 43s and all that kind of stuff, go check out the Married Gamers. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And listen to also the previous episode. I was there, the Married Gamers. Yeah, that was really, really cool. I had a blast recording that. And I've been to like 9 different podcasts. So go to my Twitter account and search. I have a lot of shows there. So shout out to all the podcasts that...
I will not be appearing on the future episode of the Married Gamers.
Okay.
Can I say one last thing and before you move on to Pete Boston? The balcony will be coming back because, my God, I've had so many people on Twitter keep asking me about it. So I will just say it here definitively for the record. The balcony will be coming back. If you want more Destiny Talk Radio, that's probably going to be the place to go. I'm sure I'll be talking about it.
All right. Pete, very quick.
4-3, Danny. That's it. I'm done.
Okay. Patrick, what about you?
No, have a good week, guys. Enjoy it. And look forward to next week. It's going to be big.
Big. Yes. All right. So we're going to wrap it up. Until next week, we are out. Peace. Later.
You're listening to Gamer Tag Radio. Be sure to like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Thanks for listening. Tune in next week.